Okay, so it gets a little bit more challenging on this one. We need to find out what the highest common factor of 17st and 13ts is equal to. So with this is a function. Make sure you write it like this. We're putting two expressions into this function and out comes an answer. So can we divide 17 by anything? No, it's a prime number. We can only divide it by 17 and 1. 13 is also a prime number. We can only divide it by 13 and 1. So they have no common factor there in the numbers. But st and ts is the same expression. So we can divide this by st.
If you put ts,
It would be correct. st and ts are the same thing. What we prefer is that you put letters in alphabetical order. You put the letters in alphabetical order. It makes it easier to read and compare. Now, they're showing a little trick there on that one. Have a go at these next four for yourself. All right, so make sure you use the function notation. Leaving off the HCF is like leaving off f of x when you're doing an f of x, leaving off the f for it. So we're putting two expressions into this function. Out of the function is going to come an expression. What expression comes out of this first one? Thanks, Hannah. xy. I think this was the hardest one. We're going to put in 16x and 24xy. So out of 16 and 24, what's the highest common factor of the two numbers? 8. That's what caused people most problems. And then out of the algebraic part, x and xy, what do they have in common? X. The letters are the easiest part. Normally letters makes things harder, but it's the numbers that is the hardest part. So nobody had problems with these next two because there was no numbers. What's the highest common factor of x and x squared? X. And then highest common factor of a cubed and 2a. A. No problems on those ones. Okay, so now we need to complete. So we're looking at the distributive property. Let me just show you. If we're looking at the distributive property, let's say we take 2x plus 5. The distributive property says that we multiply this by both the two terms inside, we get 2x plus 10. So we're working with the distributive property backwards. We've done 3 times x and 3 times something. So 3 times x gives us 3x. What do we multiply 3 by to get 6? 2. Okay? Have a go at these next 3. Make sure you copy the whole equations down. Make sure you copy the whole equations down. Okay, if we multiply 4 by a, we get 4a. If we multiply 4 by what do we multiply 4 by to get minus 8? Negative 2. What do we multiply 4 by? So we're on this one now. What do we multiply 4 by to get 16? 4. This last one. What do we multiply 7 by to get 14x? 2x. 2x. Okay, have a look at the next ones. So here on this next ones, we're looking for what is outside the bracket. So here on this first one, we're multiplying something by 3x to get 15xy. We're multiplying something by 3x to get 15xy. What is that something? Hannah? 5y. Good guess. Nice. Or well deduced. So let's check that it works. 5y times 4, does it give you 20y?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, have a go at the next 3. All right. So, what do we multiply 2 by to get 12y? What do we multiply 2 by to get 12y? 6y. So this needs to be 6y. 6y times what will give 18y squared? Well, we're going to need a 3 and we're going to need a y. Next, we're looking at these ones. So 3 times what gives 3xy? xy. xy times what gives xy squared? We just need a y here. We just need a y here. Because we've already got one x in the result and one x here. We've already got one x in the result and one x here. We've got a y squared there, but only a y, so we need one more y. This one was the hardest, of course, most probably. So here, we're multiplying y by something to get 5xy. That has to be 5x. We're multiplying y by something to get minus yz. So that has to be just simply z. Okay. So what we're doing here with these examples is we're learning how to factorize a little bit. So this new word, this is our key word for today, factorize. Factorize is an action word which tells us we have to do a specific mathematical operation. What it means is take out all the common factors and put in a bracket. So when we fully factorize, we have to look at the highest common factor of x squared and 5x. What would that be? X. So we put x outside the bracket, and then we use the distributive law backwards to decide what would have been in the bracket. So we're going to have an x plus 5. Let's do another one together. What is the highest common factor of 5x squared and 15x?
5x.
5x. You have to have the highest common factor. When you fully factorize, you need the highest common factor. So we take out a 5x, we put in our bracket, put the summation symbol here in the middle. We've got 5x times what gives 5x squared, Mary? We need an x plus 3. Okay, have a go at the last two for yourself. All right. So coming around, what seemed to be easiest was the highest common factor. So nobody had trouble with finding the highest common factor. What is the highest common factor of these two? Adam? Nope.
Negative 2x.
Nope. 2x. So I clearly lied about nobody having problems with the highest common factor.
What? How is it 2x? Isn't it negative 2x?
All right. We need 7 here. It's minus x. Notice the sign here. We've got a minus sign, so we're going to need a minus sign. Okay. What is the highest common factor in D? 4x. This is a tricky one. What do we multiply 4x by to get 4x? 1. What do we multiply 4x by to get 4x squared? 4x. Take a minute to copy down the correct answers if you haven't. How's that? Okay. Have a go at these ones for yourself. Have a go at these ones for yourself. Go through this. Okay, this first one, there's more than one correct answer on this one. It depends whether or not you take out the minus sign. So if we don't take out the minus sign, we get 2 minus a plus 2. It's neater to write this like this. These are the same expression. We can write it like this or like that. If we move the a to the back because it's negative, that makes one less character. In math, it's all about writing as little as we can possibly write. You can factor out a minus 2 from this. If you factor out minus 2, you're going to get a minus 2, like this. So you can factor out the minus 2. The second one, I would recommend factoring out the 3. If we factor out the 3, the b is going to be positive, and this will stay negative. I would write them this way around. For this last one, definitely we're going to factor out the 6. That's going to give us 2d minus c. Check your answers are correct by using the distributive property and expanding the bracket in your head. So check that you've got it right just by expanding the bracket. Check that I'm right. What is 6 times 2d? 12d. We've got one of those. What's 6 times minus c? Minus 6c. Yes.
Does it have minus like the first